Hi there. My name is Mike. I'm a realtor with Remax Real Estate Central Alberta, based in Red Deer, Alberta, Canada. And this is just a video that I like to make in sort of adding towards kind of building the knowledge base for consumers that are looking to either sell or buy or already own, and just trying to update on different topics. Today's topic that I want to get into for this video is going to be renting versus buying. Sort of the age old question of what is the right choice for you. Um, and that answer is difficult. It's not an easy answer to say. Um, Realistically, the short answer to that question is it depends. It depends on your situation. It depends on what you want to do. This has come up a little bit lately, sort of in the market that I'm currently working with, in my region at this time, is tough for buyers and for renters. There's not a lot to choose from for either, which is making it really hard. And I've been working with people on both sides who can't find a home, so they're trying to rent something, or they've been displaced from their rental, and now they can't find another rental, so now they're entertaining the option of buying a home. And so that conversation has come up a lot, and I see it quite a bit in many different blog posts and content posts that I read, where there is a debate of what is better and what is worse. So what I wanted to do in this one is not necessarily say which is better or worse, but just to talk about the pros and cons of each one, and then a couple questions I think that maybe a person can ask themselves at the end to kind of help decide what is the best option for you. In the cases for renting, some of those pros that can be beneficial for renting is the flexibility. Renting doesn't require that long term. You could be looking at, in some cases, a month to month, but realistically, 6 months to a 1 year lease, and then maybe going into a month to month after that lease is done. But it's not something where you're in it for a 5 year term or over a 20-year mortgage. This can be very beneficial for students who are maybe going to school looking to have somewhere to live, or someone who's doing a contract work and just wants to move to a community for a short stint, who's trying to get used to a community and wants to see if it's the right fit for them. If you feel like you're not going to be, there's a chance you might be moving quickly, obviously renting could be something that could be an attractive option. Less maintenance. Major repairs and maintenance are usually on the homeowner, not so much on the renter that's living there. So things like furnaces, shingles. If there's a big leak, something else, obviously a substantial value, is usually going to turn to the homeowner, which keeps it easier for the renter not having to come up with those added costs as things go, as well as low upfront costs, right? So a damage deposit is probably going to be your biggest upfront expense when you first are moving into a rental, in comparison to obviously having to come up with that larger down payment, home inspection fees, lawyers' fees, things of that nature that may be harder for some people to have to try to save up on. But some of those cons of renting can be that instability, right? So a landlord can choose, at a time once a lease is up, or if you're on a month to month, that either they want to sell the home, which is something that's been happening a lot in my region lately, or if they're choosing to move back into it, which I had a client recently do as well. Um, and so now, as a renter, you have that less control. You're in your home up for your lease, it comes up, and then you're told they're not going to renew it. Now you're having to go back out and try to find a new rental, which could be either difficult to find, or the costs and expenses might be different on a different home that maybe people don't want to incur. Less control. So let's look at it from the personalization standpoint, right? You have less opportunity to do things to your home to make it maybe more you, right? The landlord obviously has that ability to do it. Maybe they don't want to update something that you don't love, that 80s style basement. Maybe you do love that, but nonetheless, you kind of get where I'm going with it, right? You just have less. You want some updates to your house, but the landlord's not letting you do it, or choosing not to do those updates for themselves. And lack of equity. So for many homeowners, right, those payments that you make will obviously help pay that mortgage down and build that equity strength. But as a renter, you don't have that. You are paying for the landlord to be able to build that wealth and that strength, which can be a bit of a struggle. As well, your payments usually don't go down unless there's a big shift within the rental market. But obviously, as years go and cost of living goes and homes get more expensive, etc., rent will continue to increase. On the flip side, whereas a homeowner, you will find that as you pay down your mortgage, your payments will start to decrease, right? So as the years go, your payments could get a little bit better, allowing you a little bit more money to do different things with, invest in different ways, and kind of plan for that retirement, right? So let's look at some of the case for home buying and the pros of home ownership. I just kind of touched on it with the lack of equity with rentals, building equity. That is a great factor for many homeowners as it's sort of a forced savings component for your house. Investment would be another pro there that I would consider. Homes typically increase in value. Now, when I say that, it's over the long term. Obviously, not flipping within a year or two. Maybe in this current market we're in now, but in the general aspect of it, it's the investment over the long term. So buying a property today, if you're looking at that 15, 20 years down the road, right? Again, that long term staying within your home, it will allow that investment to build and get a much more return on your investment, right? And then the stability factor, and we talked about that in the renting as well. You make the decisions on your home. No one's telling you that you have to move out or that you're done or that you have to leave. So you make those decisions yourself, and it just adds a little more stability, knowing that you have that home the way you want it. But there is some cons, and one of those cons would be one could argue that long-term commitment. It is a long-term commitment, and you have to be prepared for that. There are more up costs to come up with that down payment, right? Maintenance costs that you go throughout your year, taxes, things of that nature that will all be sort of added to that life of the homeowner. And then and maintenance, and so really, I'm double down. Maintenance I've already talked about as being that thing that will constantly be coming up, right? Keeping those furnaces tuned up and clean, the appliances when they break down, just adding extra things to the property to make sure that things are running smooth for the future and keeping those values of that home up. So again, what is the right choice? And again, as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, that depends on each person. And there's not really one right answer. But I think if this is something you're considering, trying to figure out renting or buying and what is best for me, the questions you can ask is, do you plan on staying in one area for an extended period of time? Do you anticipate that you're going to be moving frequently? Do you feel pretty set where you are? And if the answer is yes, then investing into that community and into that area could be great. And if you think, well, I might only be here for a year or two, or I'm really wanting to travel or get to the other side of the country, things of that nature, job opportunities come up, I'll go wherever a great opportunity is, then maybe now buying's not the choice and renting could be good for that time. And the other side of it is financially, can you do it, right? Can you qualify for a mortgage? If you do qualify for a mortgage and they give you a price point, what do those payments look like, including your maintenance, taxes, and does that fit within your budget? And for some people, if it does, and that opportunity of staying put for a while is there, then buying could be a great option. And I do think it is a great option. But if the answer to that question is no, well, then obviously that tells you where it is. You can't buy a house yet, and you need to figure out what you need to do in order to do that. And a mortgage broker will be able to assist you through that and kind of guide through that process. So, hopefully, by weighing kind of these factors and reviewing these pros and cons, it'll help kind of make that informed decision as to what is the best choice for you within your sort of lifestyle and financial goals. So, I hope this video sort of helped provide some information and give you something to think about and talk about with yourself to kind of figure out which is the best decision for you. Thank you very much for watching and have a great day.